So the main purpose of this video is just to talk to you about the different agents of failure. And so the reason I'm doing this is because before the New Year's and even now in the new year right now, there's been a sort of like a social media outburst of different people making goals, sharing their goals online, talking about, oh, new year, new me, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to change this about myself, you know, I'm going to achieve this year, hopefully I'm going to reach this level of success. And that's fine, you know, there's no problem with that. But there seems to be some sort of, how would I even explain it? People looking down on these type of people because they're thinking, oh, we've heard it before. Yes, you're going to change. Yes, you're going to do this. No one's really buying into it. You know, what's different from last year that you didn't achieve the year before? And just some negative attitude towards people setting their goals. And so it just got me to thinking, you know, not to comment on those specific people or those who are making goals or those who are looking down on other people, but mainly to discuss why the element of truth of why a lot of people, just in general, especially within sort of my students, I see it within my students as well, and just within people in general, of why people fail to reach their goals and why people fail in a lot of the things that they do. And so I just wanted to share some of the agents of failure with you. So one of the first things I would say is procrastination, which is one of the biggest agents of failure. Procrastination is a disease. It's one of the biggest agents of failure because it stops you from actually starting whatever your goal is in the first place. You know, you get to the stage of just keep putting it off, keep putting off, you keep putting off, you never ever get started because you're constantly making excuses for yourself of why or when you're supposed to start. So you wanted to start this Monday, but for some reason you're too tired, or somebody's called you, this has happened, I'll start on Tuesday. Tuesday comes, you're making excuses why Tuesday is not beneficial for you. Wednesday comes, and so on and so forth. Before you know it, you know what, I'll start next month. Actually, this month is so busy, I don't think I'll have time for it. And then when next month comes, same cycle continues. It's the process of procrastination. And it's a bad habit that we all need to sort of get rid of. And within that itself, there's a sub-agent within that causes procrastination a lot of the time as well. And that one of those will be self-doubt. A lot of people don't believe in themselves when they're actually setting these goals, whether they feel like, you know, deep down, I don't think I'm going to achieve it, so why am I bother going to start? Or another thing is failure, the fear of failure. Why am I going to start if possibly I'm not actually going to achieve this particular goal? So you're doubting yourself and you're afraid to fail. There's nothing wrong with actually failing if you're getting started, because with failure you can then pick yourself up and try again. That's a different type of failure. Procrastination, where you don't actually start, is a whole different level, which for me, I prefer to take risks. I'd rather know that I tried and failed than never tried at all. So that's one of the main things, is procrastination is a very, very big agent to failure. And the sooner we can get rid of that within ourselves, the better it is. Sort of growing up myself, I've always had that demon of procrastination within me myself. So right from secondary school, given our GCSE, you know, coursework, we've got 6-7 weeks to do it. I'll say to myself, you know, I'll start it next week, I'll start it next week. It will not get to the stage where it's literally the last week left that I decide, yes, I have to now do it. By the end of it, I'll get an average grade and I'll look at it thinking to myself, I had all this time to do it. If I actually spent more time, the whole time that I was given to do it, I could have had a higher grade, you know. And that process stayed with me right through college, even at university, and within my career right now. It's always trying to creep up within me, but I've managed to be able to get to the stage where I can, you know, put procrastination to the side and just get on with it and know that, you know what, as soon as I start, I can finish, you know. And that's what I would like to share with you guys, to make sure that you don't procrastinate in whatever you're doing, whether it's within work, college, business. Make sure you don't procrastinate. If you're willing to start, just start today. Whether you're just taking the notes down, whether you're writing an action plan, just start. That's all you can do, is just start. Because when you start with momentum. You can't move anywhere if you haven't started yet. Second agent to failure is lack of consistency. So, okay, you've beaten the demon of procrastination. You've beaten that agent. So now you're in a stage where you've actually gotten started, but you're not consistent. Let's just use an example that you've decided, if you're a writer, for instance, which I am as well. So you decided, you know what, I'm gonna write chapter 1 this week. I'm gonna work on it on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. So you start on a Monday, but then you're not consistent. You don't do it on a Wednesday because you're a little bit tired. And then you might do it on a Friday, but then the following week you skip Monday, you skip Wednesday, and you do it on a Friday. And then you get to the stage the week after, you just don't do it at all. So the lack of consistency is also another path to failure, because you won't achieve your goals if you're inconsistent. If you're constantly making excuses why you shouldn't carry on, or you're stopping and starting, stopping and starting, how long is it going to take you to actually achieve your goals if you set a time frame within that goal? So that's something to think about. Make sure you stay consistent and you stay motivated, whatever your goal is. You have to have that self-motivation. If not, you're never going to achieve whatever it is that you've set out to do. So make sure you stay consistent, regardless of the self-doubt, regardless of the fear, like I mentioned earlier, regardless of all the other things that you could be doing that might be more interesting. But don't forget, this is your goal. This is it should be your passion if it's your goal. So you should have that drive within you, and always remind yourself why you're doing this, because you set your goals, you want to reach it, but don't let any other things distract you, and make sure you stay consistent and stay motivated. Last thing I would mention as an agent of failure would be negative barriers that make sure you don't go any further. This is a big thing for a lot of people, because when we come through hard times, we get to that position where we have, we're not stable financially, or we become too busy. We use any excuses. Like I said before, there's a sub-agent within all three things that I've mentioned, which is, sub-agent is fear and the self-doubt. They're constantly talking to you, whether you're a procrastinator, or whether you're somebody that lacks consistency, or whether you're a person that's probably going to stop because you face a barrier that you don't think you can take on. You have to have the mental capacity and the mindset to say, you know what, I'm at a hard road here. Am I willing to go forward, or am I going to turn backwards? You're already at this position. Yes, you've beat procrastination. Yes, you've become consistent, but now you're facing a barrier. Are you willing to break down that barrier? Are you willing to jump over that barrier? Are you willing to outsmart that barrier, depending on what type of person you are? So either way, as long as you're willing to get past the barrier, that's the most important thing, because you know what your goal is, and so nothing should stand in your way. You've started, you're consistent, but now you don't have the mindset to finish. No way. Make sure that you finish. Make sure you remind yourself why you started in the first place. You're going to get these constant voices constantly talking to you. It can come in the form of yourself, hearing this fear, hearing this self-doubt, why you don't think you're going to succeed. It can come in the manner of your friends. It can come in the manner of family, people who are doubting you, who are telling you your goals are unrealistic. Oh, it's too hard, there's no point carrying on, things like that. You need to be able to be careful of some of these people. They might have the right intentions, or they think they have the right intentions, but you should, as number one, know what your goals are and what you want to achieve, and don't listen to what anybody else is saying that's going to have a negative impact within what you want to achieve. Yeah, just to round off, this is my constant message to a lot of my students on a daily basis. They know exactly what my message is. When we're in the classroom, I'm constantly telling them. When we're outside the classroom, even when we're just playing table tennis, they know they can't beat me, but my idea is that hopefully they're going to keep trying, because there's different levels. I'm that barrier for them to becoming better than me. So they think that they can beat me. Some of them decide to quit. Others constantly saying, sir, can I play you? Can I play you? I want to beat you. I want to make sure I beat you. So just a little, as a little example. And so even within my classroom, I have a wall that literally has prohibited words, banned words they can't say in that classroom while we're in that classroom. So the wall has things like I can't, I won't, I'm not smart enough, this is too hard, just as examples. So they know when they're in my classroom they can't say these things, and so instead of saying that, you know what, this is hard but I'm going to try it, that's what I want to hear. So constantly reminding them that never giving up is a very, very important skill, a very, very important quality they need to be able to grasp once they've left our care in our college and gone into employment or further education, depending on what they want to do in the future. So that's my message to a lot of my students, and hopefully I feel like it applies to a lot of people outside of educational life as well. So just in general, whether it's a New Year's resolution or New Year, New You, if you want to make your goals public, so be it. If you want to keep them private, so be it. The most important person that it should affect is yourself. You know why you want to achieve it. Nobody else knows why. It's important to you. Then just go for it, regardless of what people are saying. That's my message to you. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing these videos hopefully on a weekly basis. Remember, I said to subscribe to the channel if you like what you're hearing. share it as well. And yeah, let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions for me, just leave some in the comment box. I will be more than happy to respond to everyone. So yes, see you next week. Take care.